I am actively living with the help of
I
IHSS.
am actively living with the
I
help
am
of
actively
IHSS.
living with the help of IHSS.
I am actively living with the help of
I am
IHSS.
actively living with the help of IHSS.
I am actively living with the help of IHSS.
Welcome to the second episode of Actively Living Using IHSS. My name is Jeffrey Gamble. We're here with Mr. Jay Cramer, who's going to tell us how he actively lives in his community using IHSS, in-home supportive services. So Jay, tell us a little bit about yourself, sir.
Hi, Jeff. How you doing today?
I'm great. How about yourself?
Good. As the lovely man said, my name is Jay Cramer. I broke my neck in a rock climbing accident about 8 years ago. I was a semifinalist for Survivor. I don't know if you watched the show.
Yeah.
It's still my favorite show, and it's for me, it was never about the $1 million. It was just about the adventure, and I got an adventure, but it was pretty cool. It was the way that it happened was I submitted a 3-minute video. They saw it, they liked it, they called me up. I did the phone interview, got done with the phone interview, and they said congratulations. Come in for the actual interview, and then they made me a semifinalist to be on the show. And I called up a couple buddies of mine who were big into extreme sports, and I said, hey, can you train me? And they said, sure, we're going bouldering on Tuesday, and I didn't know what bouldering was. And they said, just come along. So I went on in, and we hiked for about a half hour at Malibu Canyon State Park. And we got to this one section that was just water and rock. So to get over the water, you had to cling to the side of the rock. And I fell in twice, and I was fine. It was like hip-deep water. And third time's a charm. And I'm all wet, and I'm clinging to the side of the rock, and I started to slip, and my muscles were tired from doing it for a little while. And then I looked up at my buddy, and I said, I think I'm going down. He said, well, then just let go. And instead of just letting go, my wife likes to say that I'm a dumb boy. I pushed off, and I tried to do a backwards double jackknife off the rock, and I hit my head on a rock in the middle of the water. Shattered my C5, so I am what is categorized as a C5 level quadriplegic, and it is the best thing that ever happened to me.
Wow. So I heard you say about a wife. You have a wife. Would you like to tell us a little bit about your wife?
Yeah, funny thing. I met her right over there, actually.
Wow.
Now, I was doing outpatient therapy here at Rancho, and she is a double amputee. She's missing her legs from the knees down, and she walked by me in her titanium alloy Terminator, I'm going to kill you legs, and I thought it was the sexiest thing I'd ever seen.
Okay.
But I saw her do it, and she got into her car and she drove away, and I had been told by my therapist, this was about 6 months post-injury for me, so I'd been told by my therapist that I'd be able to drive, and I was like,
Yeah.
really? Do you really want this driving a car? And they're like, yeah, you can, and you will. And but I saw her do it, and it made sense to me. And I said, that inspired me, and I knew that I wanted to have somebody like that in my life. So I went out and married her. She and I got married about 4 years ago.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
And you said she rolled away, so that means she's still fast. I hear she's very fast,
Yeah.
actually, not only in the car, but actually on them titanium RoboCop-like legs you were just telling us about. Tell us about that.
Yeah, she is a legless sprinter. No, it was great. The reason why she was here at Rancho was because she hurt her back. Because at the ripe age of 25, she started running.
Okay.
Just to stay in shape because she's an actor, and ended up taking that to track meets, which took that to nationals, which took that to the Paralympics, and she competed in London last year, and is currently 6th in the world, and is the American record holder 4 years in a row.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
In
great.
the 100 meters.
Okay, great. So how about actively living yourself using IHSS? For those who don't know, in-home supportive services. Could you tell us how you use IHSS in your life, and how do you keep caregivers?
Yeah, well, first let me say that IHSS is an incredible program. It's something that I really couldn't exist without. And I'm sure there's a lot of us out there that would, scream at the top of our lungs about how great the program is. But it's something that basically you find somebody who you know can do the job, and once you do, I've been fortunate enough to find a great guy by the name of Oscar, who I've had for I think 6 years now.
Great.
But he's very reliable. He sang at my wedding. We've become very good friends, and I don't know what I'd do without him. But when you're doing the interview process, you have to know the right questions to ask, because you need to know if he can do the job. If A, he has done the job before,
Yeah.
B, if he's comfortable with the job, and C, if he's going to do a good job. But the main thing was he had had experience, and when I asked the questions, he had all the right answers.
Right.
But all of that being said, it's a program that helps you out. Doesn't matter what time of day you need the help. You are the boss, and you set it up, and then they're there to provide whatever services you need, whether it's getting you up and out of bed, helping you in the shower, going to get your groceries, cooking food for you, picking stuff up, whatever it is.
Excellent. So I know I spoke actively earlier, but you're quite active. I don't know how you do it. Could you tell us a little bit about some of your activities? I know you work, I know you travel, you're also a stand-up comedian, you're an actor. Jay Cramer, what is it that you don't do?
No, I just love life, man. That's how I got injured, and I refuse to have something little like this stop me. Yeah, it's a life curveball that nobody could ever possibly be ready for. But once you wrap your brain around the fact that this is something that has happened, there's people out there, and luckily in today's day and age, we're able to live a full life. So I'm not gonna not do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you said, I do stand-up comedy. I performed last night at this awesome thing called Write Club, and it's 6 writers competing against each other, and in 3 bouts, and we did Desire against Necessity, and I represented Desire, and I won my bout, and it was really cool. But I was on Grey's Anatomy last month, and I've been on Desperate Housewives. I've done several commercials. I've worked more as an actor after the accident than before the accident.
Wow.
And it's because I refuse to let anything stop me. But it's not just acting; it's also it's writing. I'm constantly putting together new projects. Right now, I'm working with another crippled buddy of mine, another handicapped guy who's got a great mind for comedy, and we're writing a crippled Avengers movie. So it's all handicapped superheroes.
Okay.
But it's anything and everything that you can put your mind to. I always say, when there's a will, there's a way.
Exactly. So how about work? What do you do for work?
Yeah, because acting and stand-up comedy only pays the bills a small amount of the time. The rest of the time I'm doing what I absolutely love to do, which is here at Rancho, and that's what you do as well. It's peer mentor work. So we get to help out patients who are going through what we've been through, because they can learn a lot from their therapist, but they can learn a lot from somebody who's been through it before. And in doing all of that stuff, it's a great way to pay it forward, because when you're here at Rancho and you go through what we've been through,
Yeah.
then you have an undying need, at least I felt this, to give back to the community that helped save my
Exactly.
life. And so I do No Barriers, KNOW, know your barriers, so you can figure out a way to get around them, through them, up them, over them, whatever it is. Like I said, when there's a will, there's a way. But I love talking to patients and helping them out, helping them answer questions. And then I'm also the supervisor here at the Wellness Center, because when we got out of the hospital, it was a while longer for you, but 8 years ago for me, there still wasn't a program like the Wellness Center, which is basically a gym and a place to get questions answered, and now I'm one of the supervisors there. And then I'm also the director of the Performing Arts Program, which was something that really helped me get back on my feet, so to speak, after my injury, and that's what got me doing stand-up comedy and letting me know that it doesn't matter what happens to you in life. Everybody has little hiccups and little differences. Ours are just a little bit more physical, a little bit more obvious.
Excellent. So I understand that most of the employers at the Wellness Center are disabled, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. Most of them are disabled. I think all of them are past patients of Rancho. If not, they've been through the peer mentoring program, And also, a lot of us have been through the life coaching program as well, which is, it's invaluable because it really does help get you back on your feet and point you in the right direction and figuring out what you want to do. Because yeah, it's good that we work here at Rancho and we're helping out patients and all of that, but the idea of Rancho is to get you out into the community and living your life out there as well. And it's so cool to see people taking on jobs out there and succeeding out there and just getting better.
Excellent. So could you tell us a little bit about travels? I know you spoke earlier about your wife being an Olympic track star. I understand that you went overseas to witness her performance while she was in the Olympics, and you travel quite frequently. Could you tell us a little bit about how it is to travel on plane, and how do you drive or things of that nature?
Yeah, traveling is, it's different. It's like I said, you have to wrap your brain around the fact that this is something that has happened, so then you can figure out how you want to proceed. You can do everything that you did before. It's just going to be a little bit different.
Okay.
And in saying that, of course, I can drive. It's very difficult for me to transfer into a car by myself or anything like that, so I have a van, and I drive from my power chair. So that's pretty easy.
Okay.
If we're traveling to a place where we need to rent a car, luckily my wife will drive the car and we're good that way. We found a phenomenal company called Wheelchair Getaways, and they exist pretty much in every major city, and you can rent a car, have them take the seat out for a passenger seat for me, put in hand controls for my wife, whatever it is. And then there's flying, which is in and of itself a very, very difficult procedure. But I think it was about 3 months post-injury after the hospital, two very good friends of mine got married in North Carolina, and I wasn't going to miss their wedding.
Good.
So I flew by myself there, and my mom was terrified. She made me call her on before the plane took off and after it landed, and she's never been one to be like that, you know, that mothering, that close guarded, but she wanted to make sure I was okay, and I knew I was going to be okay. But it's a process, and you just need to figure out how to do it. And now I've done it a ton of times. So, but the main thing is you just call the airline after you book a flight and let them know that you're going to need help on to the aisle chair. The aisle chair will bring you down to your seat, and then you make sure you bring your cushion, put that on the airplane seat, and then they transfer you over, and you're good to go. And then you hope that your wheelchair is intact after the plane lands and gets it back to you at the gate.
And arrives at the same time.
And a lot of times it doesn't. I have been stranded in Chicago, in Los Angeles twice without a wheelchair.
Wow. Okay, well, I mean, we thank you so very much for the wonderful interview, Jay. Is there anything else that you would like to add? Anything you would like to plug, something new that you're working on, or any new adventures coming up down the pipe?
Let's see, nothing huge. I am performing at Flappers in Burbank on the 26th of December, day after Christmas. So after you're done with your family, come and laugh at a guy in a wheelchair.
Who's very funny.
Yeah, I try.
All right. Well, with that, we thank you very much once again, Jay. Appreciate your time and your effort.
You got it, man. Thank you.
See you guys on the next episode.
I am actively living with the help of IHSS.